When you use your mind to contemplate, to meditate about the greatness of God, God in your life, how real are your blessings, how wonderful your life is. What is the first feeling that you would have? There are two basic feelings: love and fear / awe or respect. What would the first feeling, the natural feeling, be? Because it's the same meditation that can lead to two different kinds of feelings. Ultimately, we need both feelings. As we've learned in the past, for our mitzvah that we engage in, that it should have wings to fly to the divine above and not just remain a moment's connection in the act of the mitzvah. The love and awe are the two wings that allow it to ascend on high to the divine and have eternal connection. However, that being said, the same meditation can bring to two different feelings. Which one would come first? Which one would come second? Who's on first, who's on second, right? So sometimes it will be that love precedes the fear. As das, awareness, that's what das is knowledge. It's an awareness, a deep awareness, a deep connectivity to what we know. Okay. It incorporates both chesed and gvura, because intelligence is the parent of the child that it gives birth to, which is the emotion. Both emotions. Right? So sometimes it's possible that a person who may be way off in their connection to God, might be a Russia, completely off in their divine connection, yet they do tshuva out of love. It's born in their heart because they remember Hashem. They remember God. And all of a sudden it dawns upon them. And they're feeling a real strong, rapturous love of Hashem. Now the fear is there also, but it's kind of in a state of concealment. It's like in the back burner, right? However, for this to occur, it is very unusual. It's not the ordinary. In other words, someone who is way off, a Russia, and all of a sudden has a love of God and does penitence, it's an extraordinary occurrence. The Talmud speaks of such a person. His name was Elazar ben Dordoya. He was a very sinful individual, and all of a sudden came upon him a rapturous love of Hashem, that he wanted to connect to Hashem and to remove himself from his misdeeds. However, this is not the normative way. It's not the normative way. The regular way in a divine service is that when a person is dirty, they have to clean themselves first. And then from being clean, they can attach themselves appropriately, which means, very simply, another metaphor, before the king arrives to your home, you got to clean it up in order that you can have an appropriate place for the king to dwell, to be connected to. Love is connection. You want to connect to Hashem, the king? So before you do that, you need to clean house. Then, once you've cleaned the house, then you can have a place for the attachment, the connection to the king, to Hashem. Therefore, in the divine service, the normative way, the regular way, as the Alter Rebbe comes to conclude now, chapter 43, is that first a person needs to fulfill Torah mitzvahs in a way of yirat Hata, the lower level of fear, which means that we have the presence of Hashem, the awareness that God is present in my life, and I don't want to disconnect from Him. I don't want to rebel against Him, and therefore I do what I got to do. I do what's right in God's eyes. And I do the mitzvah. I study the Torah, and so on. And only thereafter am I able to then illuminate the connection with God. So first comes the fear, then comes the love. That's the point. And that's why the word love, ahava, is the numeric value. One second. Sorry, I apologize. The word sorry, I'm teaching Tanya now. I'll call you back. Sorry, folks. That was my son and grandchildren calling. My apologies. Actually, that was beautiful. Sorry. The word or, light, is 207. And v'ahavta, and that you shall love God, is 414. In other words, you need two lights before you can come to love God. You need the light of, the wing of, the fear of God, and then you can come to the love of God. That's the normal way. In other words, when we contemplate about God, think about Him, see, the normative way, sometimes there's an emergency prescription, but the normative way is first to have the sense of God's presence, which brings reverence, is the concept of fear, right? For someone who you have no reverence for, anyway, reverence, God's presence, even awe, and then will come love. Then will come love. That's the normative way. That concludes chapter 43. I just want to make a point about this in human relationships is likewise. The Rambam, when he speaks, Maimonides, when he speaks about relationships, husband and wife, the first thing that he says that's incumbent about for a husband and for a wife is to have respect for each other and then love. Why? What do you mean? Isn't love the most important thing? All you need is love? Love will only flourish if there's first respect. If there isn't the proper respect, respect means, or even better, reverence. Better than respect is reverence. If there's a reverence for the other, you make space for them. When you can make space for them, in that space will flourish the love. If you begin with love, you're beginning with yourself and your desire to connect. As opposed starting with reverence / fear / awe, you are starting with space for the other, beginning with the needs of the other. And by doing that, that will allow love to truly and properly grow. So that's how you're going to have a healthy relationship. Because when you have that healthy relationship with God, that will be converted and be used in a healthy relationship with another person. Any questions or comments on that? Okay.
It is so well stated, if I may say, Rabbi, that what you said about love, being, if it's first, it's all about the self. But the focus here, you're saying, is on the respect, which is about the needs of the other. And that is a selfless thing.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you.